William Ruto has finally confirmed the passing on of CDF General Francis OGOLLA, where he has announced that beginning tomorrow, Friday 19th April, there will be 3 days of national mourning. Before we listen to William Ruto, let's have a look at a post shared out by Lorna A. Omondi, the daughter to the deceased General Francis OGOLLA. Lorna made this post long before William Ruto made that announcement. Lorna A. Omondi OGOLLA, my father, pursuer of excellence, most empathetic and effective leader and statesman, just went down in chopper crash in West Pokot, doing what he did best for the better part of the last 40 years, trying to keep Kenya safe. One day, I shall tell beautiful stories of how he taught with his actions and not with his words. But today, I rush home to send him off to the great beyond. Thus, Lorna Omondi, daughter to the deceased General Francis OGOLLA. Let's now listen to Ruto before we continue.
Today, at 2:20 p.m., our nation suffered a tragic air accident in Sindar area, Keben location, 3rd Division in Elgeyo, Marakwet County. I am deeply saddened to announce the passing on of General Francis Omondi OGOLLA, the Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces. Together with him in the crash were 11 other gallant military personnel, 9 who also passed on with him, and 2 survivors. The gallant military personnel who passed on with General OGOLLA are Brigadier Swale Saidi, Colonel Duncan Keitany, Lieutenant Colonel David Sawe, Major George Benson Magondu, who was also the pilot, Captain Sora Mohammed, Captain Hilary Litali, Senior Sergeant John Kinywa Mureithi, Sergeant Cliffons Omondi, and Sergeant Rose Nyawira. The Chief of Defence Forces on board the Kenya Air Force Hiwi helicopter had left Nairobi this morning to visit troops deployed in the North Rift under the Operation Maliza Uhalifu, and to also inspect the ongoing school renovation works in the following schools: Chesitet Primary School, Cheptulel High School, Chepoton Primary School, Ksa Primary School, and Saplimoi Primary School. As part of his working tour, the CDF had been briefed on the security situation by a multi-agency team stationed at Chesitet in Baringo County, after which he proceeded to the Kainuk Forward Operating Base in the Turkana County, where he addressed troops, commending them for their resilience and operational success. The Chief of Defence Forces and his entourage departed from Kainuk to Chesegon in West Pokot County, where he launched the rehabilitation of Cheptulel Boys High School. He then departed Chesegon for the Recruits Training School in Uasin Gishu County, where he was scheduled to inspect construction facilities at the institution. Unfortunately, the aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff. The Kenya Air Force has constituted and dispatched an air investigation team to establish the cause of the air crash. In honor of the life and the distinguished military career of the fallen general who lost his life not just while in office, but in active military duty, the nation will observe a period of 3 days of mourning commencing tomorrow, the 19th of April, 2024. During this time of national mourning, the Kenya flag, the Kenya Defence Forces flag, the East African Community flag, and flags of all formations of the military shall fly at half-mast in the Republic of Kenya and in Kenya missions abroad. Poleni sana.
Listening to Ruto, Ruto has just confirmed that the crash happened today at 2:20 p.m. in Elgeyo Marakwet County. There were 12 people on board that helicopter. 10 died, 2 survived but are in critical condition at the hospital. So 10 have died, 2 have survived as of now. The death of General Francis OGOLLA is something that has shocked very many Kenyans, and speculations are flying around. This is something that happened at 2:20 p.m. and the government is responding around 8:30, very many hours after the crash. That in itself raises very many questions than answers as to why the government took all that long to respond or to inform Kenyans what had happened. But in this forum, I don't want us to speculate, but it's very clear that there are so many questions to be answered here. As I conclude, let me leave you with an old clip of William Ruto trying to explain why he appointed Francis OGOLLA as the CDF. Let me hear from you in the comment section. Thank you.
I appointed General OGOLLA. General OGOLLA is among the people who went to bomb us to try and overturn my victory. Do you know that? But because when I looked at his CV, he was the best person to be general. I called him and I sat him down. I told him, my friend, you went to bomb us to try and overturn my victory. But because you are the best person to be general, I'm going to give you the job. That is how it works with me. That's why I told you, if a person has the qualification, if he is the best for the job, I will give him the job.
But that is the military. There's a code of conduct for the military and how politics works in Kenya, Mr. President.
Let me tell you, my friend, I had the opportunity. I could have appointed anybody. I had, I think, 10 choices. I didn't have to. You know, there are people who say, oh, you know, William Ruto appointed OGOLLA because he was the deputy CDF. That's not the case. I made the decision consciously. And I made the decision against the advice of many people. Many people told me, you should not give this, you should not reward this kind of behavior. Okay. But, you know, I also must be sensitive. What exercised my mind